So I feel like in the last 10 years, there's been a boom in the healthcare industry. There's all of a sudden a ton of people whose whole purpose is to improve your health span or improve your lifestyle. They work by coaching people on nutrition, sleep, exercise, mindfulness, mental health, all this stuff, which is great and it's extremely important. But for the average person, I feel like it can be very overwhelming. And oftentimes, the way these things are presented sometimes feels like way too big of a change for us to make. So one thing that I think can be very helpful is looking for what's called a keystone habit. I read this book called The Power Habit. It's a great book. And he goes over how habits are created and has all these great tips on how to improve your life through making these changes. I think one of the more important topics he went over was something called Keystone Habit. And a Keystone Habit is a positive behavior that'll then lead to this ripple effect of creating a cascade of all these other healthy, positive things in your life. So what this looks like in real life is you take somebody who doesn't exercise, doesn't eat well, doesn't sleep well, and all of a sudden they just walk for 20 minutes after dinner. So they start walking for 20 minutes after dinner, then all of a sudden they feel like, oh, I'm a healthy person, I'm doing something good for myself. And then since they're exercise is going to improve sleep. And then since they feel like they're more of a healthy person, they start to make better choices with their food. And it just kind of creates this cascade of like an upward spiral that makes that person live a better life and live healthier. So in a world where we're constantly inundated with new health information and all these new lifestyle changes we're supposed to make, it can be very overwhelming. So I find these keystone habits a nice way for people to make real changes that can cause an upward spiral and improve your overall health. It's hard to identify exactly what that's going to be for everybody. Ideally, you want to find something that has a ripple effect. Like if you focus on getting better sleep, that's going to immediately give you better energy to do more things the next day, accomplish more. It's going to put you in a better mood just by doing that. Same thing with exercise or walk and exercise. Like those things are going to naturally create a ripple effect. So that'll be more likely a stronger keystone habit than say just taking a multivitamin in the morning. But that's not to say maybe a multivitamin might cause some people to all of a sudden be like, oh, I'm a healthy person. I take a multivitamin, and then that person decides to make other healthy choices in their life because they now have changed their identity with a habit. And the other thing you want to look for is it's good to get small wins. So, if you go for that 20-minute walk, it's an easy thing to do that you can immediately accomplish and feel better about yourself. The keystone habit of completing a marathon or losing 30 pounds, like those are things aren't going to happen overnight. And so you're not going to be able to build that momentum. Those small wins, really make a big difference over time. It's, small waves change coastlines. But yeah, in a world of too many options, just find one that you think you can do, it's easy to do, and just start with that and give it some time.